Hello and welcome to our daily sketch routine. It is Saturday. And today we're going to talk about and sketch, I'm going to call it drawing the legs and feet. Okay, but before we begin, I wanted to show you this artistic tool that I found. I've had for years, but I just found it. But it's helpful for proportions. So for example, if you have this, then you can go like that. Instead of guessing at it. And then the other thing is, of course, to draw circles for the head. But that doesn't look that much better than doing it freehand. So yeah, drawing legs and feet. So we've established that we're just going to focus on the lower body, but let me draw the full figure here. Since we have this thing, let's see. So find the center point, and then find that again. Well, I guess we can double check. So I noticed that it's a little bit longer there. It's a little bit off right there. Probably because my center point is off, but it's close enough. It looks like here is good, but then, so I would just lower this a little bit. Alright, so this is the collarbone. This is we'll call it the hip, but this is actually the widest part, or the bone. This creates the hips, or the pelvis actually. And yeah, this is the femur, the thigh bone. So the middle part is actually the knee. And then when you drop that, it's basically the tibia and the fibula. So we're gonna focus on this. So I'll start a 5-minute timer, but since we're doing legs and feet, it may take a little while. I don't want to rush Okay. So if we take this and enlarge it, the middle now becomes the knees. Oh wait, I did that incorrectly. That becomes the knees. So that'll actually be the knees. That'll be the tibia. So what happens is that there's the fibula, so that's why you get this kind of angle. So one reason I wanted to do the legs and feet is we haven't gone over it yet too much. And then the other thing is that it'll help for the next videos, which I want to talk about perspective and foreshortening, because you're already getting some of that going on here, the foreshortening. So for example, let's say we have some perspective going on here. And this would be 1 point perspective. Alright, so you got some perspective. And then you also have foreshortening if you were to turn the foot forward. So now you got foreshortening right here. And you can make it more extreme, but the concept is the same. Okay. Continuing. Now let's focus on the lower leg. So this will be the knee right here. And if you drop this line, that's your tibia, your shin. And this is the fibula. And then you get your ankle. And then this, so that's 5 minutes. Let's start another 5-minute timer. this line right here represents the heel sitting on the ground or standing on the ground. And then depending on the camera or your eyes, you can have a lot of foreshortening this way. So this is foreshortening right here because this is actually the closest to the viewer. So on this side, I'm not really going to get into the knees and all the anatomical stuff right now. As far as proportions, got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's talk about the feet. So let's say that's the heel. You're gonna get get this kind of shape. You can divide that in thirds. Make sure it's standing on the ground. And then if you want to turn it in space, you can usually go like that for the ankle. So yeah, I always like to establish the ground so that your people aren't floating all over the place. 5 minutes, by the way. I'll start at least another one. Let's combine the lower body here. Let's get some movement. So as far as foreshortening, so for example, let's say this is the knee and you want it coming towards the viewer. That's going to be the closest point, so everything is going to be relative to that. So the feet, or the foot right here, ends up being smaller than the knee because of the knee is closer to us. And then you keep everything relative to that, and then it looks like it's further away. What else? I think the main thing is just placing the feet on the ground. Is important. And so there's foreshortening here. What about like, okay, when you establish, let's say the foot is going this way, then just think about the rhythm, the body movement. How would a person stand? Like, how do you stand? And is it balanced? I'll talk a little bit about the knee. So, like here, for example, I like to leave the knee open, and then it's usually this kind of thing. And from the front, this is not exact, but for sketching it's close enough. And then finally, let's see, I'm gonna do one more 5 minutes just so I don't leave you hanging. I mentioned that I wanted to do perspective and foreshortening, so I've been looking at Superman. They like to do this kind of thing. So the basic idea here is, again, this is just to get us started. I'll do another video on it, but you have to keep everything relative. So it's the same proportions, but it starts to taper away. And then the hand ends up being bigger than the head. But we'll get into all that. Kind of advanced. But yeah, before I sign off, thank you to for all the likes, subscribers, comments. I do appreciate it. I mean, it makes it, I mean, it's nice to know that people are liking it and finding it useful, and makes it more fun for me. And plus, this helps me to, because they say that when you have to explain something, it helps you to understand it better, so it helps me to So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Until next time, keep on sketching.